All right, we're back with Rebecca Schaeffer, and she is going to show us some techniques that she uses with students who need some instruction in more advanced alphabetic techniques that she uses with her intermediate level learners.
Great. So once we've covered the 6 syllable types and syllabication rules, the next step is to start working through your prefixes, your suffixes, and your roots or base words. And typically what that will look like is starting with something like this, where you are introducing what happens when you add a prefix to a word. So this is your open syllable. It has a long E. It's a prefix to the rest of the word. Same thing with pre, con. Typically we would just use one suffix or one prefix and then several different root words to show how it changes the meaning of the word when you add it, and also how you pronounce it. In this case, I've used words where it's not necessarily so useful having this be the root word, because re and side doesn't really tell you anything. It's not going back to side. But the reason that I've used this is because this is a slightly more advanced level where what we're talking about is when you add a suffix to these words, it changes the pronunciation of the vowel in the preceding syllable. So here we have reside, and both the E and the I are long. Reside. When I change that word to resident, I have added a suffix to this. Now both the E and the I are short. Resident. You have a short E and a short I. And so adding that ending changes both the meaning and the pronunciation of the word. Same thing with preside, president. Confide, confident. And so I would show students how this works and explain why it works. That when we add the suffix, it's going to change the sound of the preceding vowels. It's going to make them go from long to short. And it's also going to change the meaning of the word. And I'll start with a few words that I know they know, and we'll work through that. And then I'll model how to do that with several more words. Then I'll put a few words on the board and ask them, if I add this suffix to the word, what will happen to it? And elicit their feedback, and then write the answer on the board. Do that several times, and then I will have them work independently doing that with a few more words. Once they've done that, I'll give them some homework. The next class will come back in and review. We may then add another suffix to the word. So we might have residential, presidential, confidential, and show how we're just building that out, and that you're going to use this process to figure out how to pronounce the word. And that's going to help them with longer and longer words. For a lot of students, this is a lot of fun because they really kind of feel that anxiety when they see a long word approaching and they're not quite sure how to split it up, how to make sense of it, how to pronounce the vowels. And so when they start to see this, that this is something they can do, and they can break it down, and they can swoop underneath the different syllables and figure out if that vowel is going to be long or short, that gives them a lot of power. And it's usually a pretty exciting process when they can start doing that independently on their own.
Would you show us that swooping technique?
Sure. So if I were doing that with this word right here, they're going to swoop between the prefix and the rest of the word. So reside, preside, confide. Okay? If they're doing it here, they've already learned these words, so now they're just going to keep looking at that and go, okay, so first they're probably going to go resident. But we're going to actually treat this now as a suffix. So what'll resident? Nope, let's try again. Resident. So that's where that whole process of you're going to try dividing it here, because that's what we knew first. If that doesn't produce a word that you know, a word in your oral vocabulary, then you're going to try breaking it down after that first consonant. And the pattern that they're going to be learning is, since you know when you add this ending, it's going to change these vowel sounds, you know you're going to be breaking it up a little bit differently, because that vowel has to be short. So you're going to break it up after that consonant. Resident.
All right, thank you, Rebecca, for showing us how alphabetic instruction looks for some of our higher level intermediate students.
Thank you.